right. Are we live? Waiting for this YouTube stuff to come up. All right. So, guys, welcome. Today is our first live, and I am just trying to see if this thing is working. But anyways, looks like it's working. We are going to be reviewing some news today. We're going to be looking at the Theta, the Holochain, and the Bitcoin charts because we want to see, well, basically whatever Bitcoin does, all the altcoins will follow. So that's what we want to take a look at today. We're going to take a look at the charts, see that everything is not as scary as it seems to be. So if you're freaking out, just keep calm, sit on your hands, and wait. But let me shrink my mug down. And here's old news over the week, which is everything in crypto moves so fast. It's not exactly old news, but Biden put out an executive order on cryptocurrencies, and it really said a lot of nothing. I mean, it talked about 6 areas that they were focused on: consumer protection, financial stability, illicit activity, US competitiveness, financial inclusion, and responsible innovation. And I'm probably going to put these links in the description once this live is done. But a lot of that really contributed to the big rush that we saw right over here. I believe, yeah, that's March 9th, I believe, and then it ran all the way up. So today is March 13th, it was a couple days ago. So that's what caused that. But as you can see, as quickly as that news was released, we came back down again and we're consolidating again. So that's what's happening. Again, this news was very vague. I didn't know why it contributed to the price rise, but it did, because the market is emotional. But, that aside, it's good to see that there is some regulations. And I'm living here in Virginia, and gas prices are like $4.30 a gallon. It's incredible. When I moved here last year, or right after the pandemic, actually, I drove up. I was looking at gas prices, and they were like $1.38 or something. I was like, wow, this is great. But then, a couple months later, when all this stuff happened, gas prices now is at $4.30. So that means that nobody's going anywhere. Well, at least I'm not going anywhere because I'm a cheap little Asian. But that's just how you should conserve your money. All the money that I have that's actually going into cryptos anyway. So basically, what they said is consumer price index for February rose 7.9% from a year ago, and it's been the highest level since January 1982. Guys, I wasn't even born in 1982. So that's pretty incredible. A lot of this is contributing to higher gas and grocery prices. These were the biggest contributors to CPI gain. And of course, this is no news. Workers' paychecks fell further behind. Salaries never keep up with inflation. That's the fact. That's why you have to be smart with your money and where you put it. Whether it's in gold, silver, real estate, stocks, don't buy bonds because, well, for me, that's not financial advice, but I never saw any interest or kind of glamour with bonds. Now, if you're in crypto, which you probably are now because you're watching this live, then you're in the right place. But anyways, 7.9% over the past 12 months. I mean, at this point, I'm not sure about most of you, but I stopped eating meat. I went to a Tony Robbins event, Unleash the Power Within, and he really talked a lot about health and how much crap goes into the meat from the industry, right? When you're mass producing animals like that, you really gotta watch kind of like what drugs are put into those animals. Like cows are not supposed to be eating corn, but they are fed corn and then they sell that to you. You're not supposed to be eating that. But all that aside, that's a huge rant that we can save for another day. Let's see what we have here. Oh man, I wanted to show you what's on Swipecoin. This is some inner stuff that shows us what to buy. It's part of IM Academy, and if you want to join, then you could actually set up a call with me. But we had a sold call. Solana is on. It's not a nice buy right now. I'll just leave it at that. But anyways, I woke up this morning, and everything that I do, when I wake up in the morning, I do what rest of people do. I flip over my phone and I start looking at things. But I don't look at social media. I don't look at Facebook, Instagram. I start looking at the news. And this came up. Whale moves 1.17 billion in BTC out of Coinbase as US inflation soars. So that's a very nice headline. You know, it clickbaited me into it and I read it. I'm like, okay, because this is the kind of things that you want to take a look at. What are the whales doing? Which a lot of people that are new to crypto, they don't take notice of this news, right? So if they are moving their Bitcoin out of Coinbase, there's two reasons for that. One is because recently I read that Coinbase has actually deactivated a lot of Russian accounts because of what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, right? So that centralized power. Coinbase caved to US government and a lot of people telling them to shut down Russian accounts. So that's scary because people that are Russian, they just lost access to their assets, right? And that's what's scary. That's why I always say, you know, for your Bitcoin, for your Ethereum, once you buy that stuff, you're holding for the long term, hopefully, move that off of Coinbase. And second thing is that moving off $1.17 billion worth of BTC means that that much BTC, which I think is 10,000 BTC, is taken out of circulation, which means that we have lower supply, and if demand keeps or goes higher, that means that the price has to go higher because there's just not enough supply to go around. So those are two things that I want you to get a note of because that's what I was thinking as I was laying in bed, being lazy, procrastinating on this Sunday morning. Or it's actually Sunday afternoon now. But what does Elon Musk have to say? Right. So this was a tweet that I found interesting. He was saying that Elon was saying that, all right, we need to increase gas costs or increase the production of gas and energy. And I quite agree with him because I do not like gas prices right now. At 4.30, you really can't go anywhere because whenever I go to the coffee shop, I'm thinking about how much gas I'm spending from Canada to US to deliver oil. So, you know, if that was built, then there wouldn't be that much dependency on Russian oil. But, you know, things are where they are. I think, the White House has no plans to allow Keystone XL pipeline. And the owners of the pipeline, they actually said that, they're not going to build that stuff again because, you know, flippity flop, they were on when Trump was president, but they got turned off by Biden. So, you know, they're basing their business on the whims of presidents and their decisions. That's kind of crazy. So if I was them, I would not start that again either. But let's go into of today. You're going to church right now, literally. But we're looking at BTC, and this is one of the things that I want to convey, and I don't think a lot of people see that. And that is the charts here with BTC. And what I want you to know is that, all right, we saw that big run up for Constantine. Thanks for the shout out, Constantine. Love you, bro. And we see this big run up. That was due to the executive order news, and we saw it go back down. A lot of people say that we're in a bear market. But guys, we are in a bearish trend, I'd say. But really, overall, we're still high because take a look at this. Here are the trends that I drew. And we're looking at higher highs here. If we fall down to a low, that means that this price suddenly drops below this point here, because that was a higher high, then that is when things are getting kind of shifty. But I'm still looking at, 34 to 35K as the point in time where, things are all right. But right now we're at 38. We're just consolidating within these points. It's still in a sort of uptrend that we see here. If we drew a trend line from there to there, I'm not going to try it because my computer is crap. I need a new computer. It's really, I don't know why I'm doing lives, but I'm actually thinking of doing these lives every Wednesday, but I was planning to do it this Wednesday and this week, but, I had trouble setting up the live, so we're doing it this Sunday. But hopefully next Wednesday we're going to see another live. But anyways, want you to know that we are fine. As long as this point, if there's one point you're going to get from this live, as long as price stays or goes higher, and we're not going to drop below, let's say, 34,300, then we are fine. And remember, guys, like I said in a lot of my videos, that Bitcoin is kind of like the ocean that raises all boats, and all the boats are all the altcoins. That is why when people are asking me, what do you think of the price of Theta, which we'll talk about next? What do you think about the tapped two lows here at 228? I bought at 283, so right now I'm at a loss, but it's consolidating. So I'm not too worried about this. We're also sitting on the Fibonacci of the 786. So that means that you can see here, this was kind of like a support and resistance line. It touched support here. It was support here. It was kind of support here, and it fell down for a couple days, over a couple hours, and then went back up. So this price at 270, 275, 274, also acted as support here. It's a really strong support. If you go back in history, you'll probably see that this price at 274, 275, it's a really good support for Theta. So I actually did my Guardian Node video. If you guys are interested, I'm gonna release that 30 days later because I'm gonna shut it off. I looked at the Guardian nodes on running on Google Cloud. Do not suggest that. It is incredibly expensive. But when that video drops, you'll see how expensive it is. It's not worth it. We're gonna find some other options. I heard of Gpool. I haven't looked into it yet. But, you know, I'm all about spending no money to make a lot of money. But anyways, looking at HOT, yeah, I am not too happy about HOT. But HOT moves like Cardano. It moves really, really slow. Not to say that I have my hollow port coming. They sent me that email and said that it is in the United States shipment and they're just waiting to be sent out. Hopefully within this month, but it's been waiting for a while. What's great about it is, you know, it's cloud hosting for a lot of projects, right? A decentralized cloud hosting. So, you know, we're fighting against AWS. I don't think it's going to replace AWS because AWS, Amazon Web Services, is so prevalent in the world. It's literally Amazon and Microsoft that's carrying the entire internet, basically. So that's going to take some time to replace. But right now, let's see here. I'm not going to buy into HOT right now, just because. Let's actually switch over to the day view. We need more info here. But there's a bunch of lines that I drew from way past. So here's the thing. I think a lot of people, what they don't understand are imbalances. And you got to always take a look at the past. And what we see here is that from this point, which was March of 21, that is when Holochain had that huge run up. You see that big green candle on March 14th, 2021. Ran all the way up. And, you know, it did a base and it ran all the way up again. So that was bullish. But as easy as it can run up like that, when you just see one giant green candle, you should be scared. You should be wary. So we're looking at the past. We see this big gigantic green candle. It's just as easy for the price to fall back down. And that's exactly what Holochain is doing. And maybe I can see touchdown or support over here at 0.003. You know, I'm Asian, but I don't know how to read numbers going that minuscule. But 0.003, and it also has confluence here because drawing from this Fibonacci line from bottom to low or bottom to high, we see a Fibonacci, we see previous support here because it's also acted as support and resistance here. So I'm thinking that if price is going to fall for Holochain, it's going to fall to 0.003, 0.00319, and that would probably act as good support for it to make a bounce. But, you know, that's all just speculation. It's still quite far from that point, but right now, I am not buying anything other than Ethereum. I'm looking purely at Ethereum. I'm looking at Bitcoin too, but I'm mostly buying more Ethereum than Bitcoin just because of, you know, what's happening with Coinbase. You know, they blocked off all the Russians. And I'm looking for places because I keep most of my Ethereum and my Bitcoin on Celsius, and it's scary to me because Celsius is also centralized, right? So looking for options to move that off. My friend is running an Ethereum node, but yeah, Holochains, I'm just taking a look. again, guys, keep this short. That's all I got for today, actually. But keep your eyes on Bitcoin and what it does. If it falls below 34 or 34.5 to 34, then that's where you're like gonna be kind of scared. Hate to say it, but that's also gonna be like the point of buying opportunity. Where if it falls that low, it's gonna bring the entire market down, including Holochain and Theta, which you can pick up more at those prices, or dollar cost average. One last thing I wanted to tell you guys is that if you guys haven't learned about Fibonacci, learn about Fibonacci, because where you should dollar cost average is basically based on those levels. When it came to Theta and how I bought it, I was basically dollar cost averaging based on those Fibonacci levels. So you can see here that I have some levels here. So I was literally, when it was going up and down, for example, when it was like all the way up here, I was looking for it to fall all the way to like to 274. I didn't catch it at that point because I was playing with my emotions as well. I was like, oh man, Theta is rising. I should get in before I miss the boat. And I got in at an average of 283. But Fibonacci are great lines to kind of like dollar cost average, usually between the lines of 0.5 and 618 are the prices where I usually get in at, within the zones of 0.5 and 618. So that's just a little bit of a hint for you. And that's all I got. This is the shortest crypto church session ever. But I really hope you guys got some value. Thanks for you guys who hopped on with me this morning and doing the work and learning a little bit of something. I think it's been like, I don't know, 15 minutes or something. But anyways, guys, see you next time.